All right, a pleasant Friday morning to my fellow CEOs. Again, my name is Vrish Arevalo, but you can call me Teacher Vrish because I'm a preschool teacher. I'm the CEO founder of Osfort Learning School here in Antipolo. It is a great honor to welcome everyone to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. Can we just welcome everyone here? Can you type welcome CEOs? Come on, let's welcome. Let's get this going. Welcome CEOs. Yeah. All right. And as we all know, Friday is POS Day. All right. And we are all excited for our new topic for today. Okay, what is our mission? Why do we do this every week, every Friday, 10 a.m.? We do this every week because we install DNA principles that scale organizations. We help build institutions for legacy beyond simply making money. The goal for everyone is to get one key takeaway that you can immediately apply in your organization. And our focus is purpose. We infuse ideas that build lasting companies by introducing these 3 P's again: world-class principles, world-class, business principles, world-class business practices, and world-class business people. Okay, in our overview, can we see our overview of topics for the month of September? There you go. We are done with the first 2 weeks. Gabi, ang bilis. So for the first 2 weeks, it's more of the internal branding. For this whole month kasi branding tayo. And the first 2 weeks, we talked about internal branding. Yung week 1 natin is more than hype. That was 2 weeks ago. Week 2, more than buzz. That was last week. And for the next coming weeks, we will be talking about external branding. So for today, we have more than promises. And week 4, that's going to be next week, more than pay. And our 5th week is more than business. Okay, so 5 weeks yan. And of course, every Friday, 10 a.m. So we hope to see you again next week. For our announcements, okay, first announcement. Ayan, exciting. What is happening again on October 28 to 29, 2022 at Novotel, Manila? CEO Summit. Who's ready? Yes, CEO Summit. Can you type there? I am ready. I am ready for CEO Summit. And we are very excited to present our official list of faculties. There you go. And we have a new member. Here we go. We will be introducing a new member, a new faculty. It is, who is this? Steve C. of Great Deals E-Commerce Corporation. So halos lahat po tayo dito. We all have a background in e-commerce, or we are in the e-commerce industry. And if you are not familiar with Steve C., he is the CEO of one of the biggest, if not the biggest, e-commerce company in the country. So this is true, right? And the name of the company nga is Great Deals E-Commerce Corporation. And I think na-confirm kanina, he is the older brother of Dennis C. At tinatawag din siyang Lodi. Alam ko familiar to sa mga e-commerce. Lodi at si Mr. Steve C, siya ang tinatawag na Lodi ng mga Lodis. Lodi of Lodi. Sabi nila si Sir James daw, si Sir Frank Lodi daw. Tama ba? Okay, pero si Steve Lodi ng mga Lodi. Ayan. So who else? Of course, we have our CIA founders. We have Marvin Galang of One Tax, Catherine Castro of Beppo, Kim Lato of Kim Store, Sining Yu of Chevrolet Philippines, and of course, Paco Magsaysay of Carmen's Best Ice Cream. All right, and in addition to the CEO Summit, we will be having a gala night na first night. Ayan, for building more connections. Kaya dapat talaga pogi at magaganda ang ating mga CEOs. So what are you waiting for? Get your tux and gowns ready, CEOs. This is open to CIA members and non-members. So if you want to get your passes, it's available. Just message Chris Año Nuevo. Okay, and big details about the registration fee. Okay, the link will be provided by our operator. You can also check it on the CEOInsights Asia official page. The links will be available sa comment section. Okay, for announcements, number 2, our circle meetings. Ayan, circle meetings. 40 plus CEO executive circle members unlock and more than 30 companies or brands. So multiple circle meetings happening from circle members, from circle multipliers for men, women, and couples. Okay, we are very intentional here. So if you want to become an executive member of CEOInsights Asia, check the sign-up link sent by our operator. And just to remind you, our membership is only 15,000 annually, with one executive pass for CEO Summit. So what are you waiting for, CEOs? Sign up. Our operator will be sending the link for you. And before anything else, to share testimonials on what happens during circle meetings every week, we have a featured CEO. And to really show you that we are intentional here, we now introduce Miss Michelle Rosarda. Michelle Rosarda is a fulfillment manager of Sellers Hub. Can we show Michelle? Yan! Si Ma'am Michelle Rosarda, fulfillment manager of Sellers Hub. So what are we waiting for? Let's watch her video.
So this is Michelle from Sellers Hub. So I just want to share my experience here in CEO Circle. So joining CEO Circle is very helpful for me and for my team. Kasi madami kang mamimit na CEO na we're sharing knowledge, thoughts, and experience. So minsan is nakaka-relate din ako na masasabi ko sa self ko na tama eh. So pwede ko siya i-apply sa team ko. So doon sa day-to-day operation ko, kasi malaking tulong siya. So, dahil doon is parang mas mas ginaganahan ka lalo na umattend palalo. Kasi syempre, ang dami mong natututunan eh. Tsaka dito is na nasasabi ko sa sarili ko na mas mag-i-improve pa ako sa pagiging leader ko. And malayo pa yung mararating ko. Kasi nga, di ba parang sa Kuchilyo,
thank you. Again, Miss Michelle, narinig niyo ba yun? Willingness to learn is a choice. Ayan, ako, take home ko agad yan. It is a choice. So again, our executive membership is 15,000 pesos. So just click the link for you to sign up. Okay, now to introduce the man of the hour, okay? So before we introduce, of course, so our topic for today is more than promises. So our key message here is to establish one community. So what are we going to talk about here? So Sir Fa, sinabi ko na, di ba? Sir Fa. He is one of the founders and the executive advisor of CEOInsight Asia. Kay Sir Fa, alam ko medyo hindi pa sanay si Sir Fa. Natawagin ko siyang Sir Fa, but I respect this man. Super. I pay respect. Kaya kahit tawagin ko siyang Sir Fa, it's okay. He's an investor, an advisor, a husband, and a daddy, and a classmate, a former classmate of mine. Classmate, schoolmate. He's the man who iconized the black suit and red tie. Surfa, surfa, surfa! Here we go, Mr. Florentino A. Hernando!
Alright! Good morning! Thank you, Berish! Di ba? Thank you, Buntis! Ayan, i-claim na natin yan. Partida ha, nag-morning sickness yan ngayon at she's feeling under the we don't accept excuses. We get stuff done. So we thank you and we honor you. We appreciate yung ginagawa mo sa atin sa pag-host this month and next month. Ayan, kinokontrata ko na Franca. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CEOInsight Asia. Principles of Scaling. We're on our third week, diba? Third installment na tayo of our branding series. So, formally introducing myself, my name is Florentino A, Hernando, or colleagues call me by my initials, which is FA. I'm one of the founders and the executive advisor of CEOInsight Asia. And our purpose here is infusing ideas that build lasting companies. And I'm going to emphasize about building lasting companies later. Kasi prior to the live, no, we were having conversation kanina nung mga operations team. Salute sa kanila, kasi boys natin. Ayan. At saka ang si Direct Frank. Anyway, so we're here to learn how to turn our businesses into something that can be transferred. We can pass on to our children, our children's children, and to the coming generations. Legacy play tayo. You know, I've been watching Game of Thrones. Nag-binge watch ako from season 1 to season 8. Diba? Kasi wala tayong magawa dahil alam mo naman, ang baby. Yan, 1 month na po si baby Ellie. At every 3 hours nagigising. So night watch tayo. Night watch, diba? And 3 a.m. yan, nagpapa-milk tayo habang natutulog si wife. Most of the time is the wife, si Tido yung gagawa nun. But when we are awake, so yun na lang ginagawa ko, nanonood ako. And yun nga, sabi niya ron, death is not really the real death is when people forget about you. Diba? So that's true, diba? That's true death is when you're completely forgotten. So death being not here, going on to the next life is not really death until everyone else in the world forgot about you. So hindi yun ang gusto natin mangyari. We want to be remembered. That's why we're building institutions for legacy beyond simply making money. Yes, di ba? Intro pa lang yan, sapakan kagad. Okay, di ba? Alright, so agendas na tayo. Pag-usapan na natin ang topic for today. We're gonna do a conversation starter and then we'll do a quick recap. Kasi as you can see, the series is connected, interconnected yan. Kaya if you miss one of the episodes, that's fine. You can watch the replay. But we'd love to have you here. So please do join us sa Zoom at para do sa mga nanonood sa Facebook at sa YouTube, kindly share yung ating live stream para naman marami tayong maengganyong mag-join sa ating ecosystem. So we'll talk about the key to a successful company. We'll talk some facts and figures. Gusto natin to. And then we'll define what community means. We'll talk about why it matters. And then we'll get practical. Okay. So tradition natin, if you are ready, you're excited to talk about what we're going to talk about, kindly greet one another, good morning, and represent your company. So good morning, G-Up Digital Marketing. Ayan, sulat natin, chat natin dyan. Good morning, The Mercs. Yan, good morning from Sellers Hub, di ba? Comizen, the Comi team is here. Sino pa ba? Kasi nasa Facebook, pasensya na, di ko mababasa. Bahala kayo. Ayan. Sige, join kayo rito para mabasa natin yan. Alright. So, we trade. Oy, Coach RD nandito. Okay, so conversation starter tayo. Felix Mercado PH. Conversation starter, here's the question. What do you believe is the key in making your company successful? And we invited from Ripple Kids ang ating host before at host natin next month, si Love Ravina. Ma'am, floor's yours. Ayan, hindi siya pwede mag-unmute daw. Kailangan daw nating unmute. Ayan, tulungan natin siya. Ayan, ako na, tinulungan ko na. Ayan, kaya. Love. Going once. Going twice. Wala! Okay, ayan na. Nawala na siya. Okay, so Frank, Greg, alam mo na gagawin. Salo.
Hello. Ayan. For me, what do I believe the key is to making a company successful? Ayun. First and foremost, ito paulit-ulit ng sinasabi, you need to have the right people first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And then next is you need to have the proper systems for each department. Kung ano mang classic business model yung ginawa. Yeah. And lastly, you need to build a community. You need to have people na hindi lang they don't only know you for what you have or for what you offer, but they always remember you, and kumbaga they become loyal to you at some point na kahit may iba nang mas maganda sa iyo. So for me, that's the key for having a successful company.
Yeah. All right. Sige, thank you Direk sa Ayan, sabay pumasok sila. Anyway, so thank you so much for that. Grabe, no, we have the right people, that's a foundation, and then the systems, and then having the community, your loyal customers. So, pivot muna tayo. Let's do a very quick recap before we proceed to our topic. So, week 1, we talk about more than hype. The first 2 weeks, we spent about internal branding. And branding is defined as how people see and feel about our company. Now, internal is the employees. Ano ba ang nararamdaman or ng associates ng staff natin? It's not what we say that matters when it comes to branding. It's what other people say about our company. So, ano ba ang branding? Ano ba ang company or employer branding ni G-Up, ni The Mercs, ni WeTrade, ni CEOInsight Asia? Meaning, the question is, what do people inside the organization feel about the company? And for us, we want to establish a learning culture because that's the way to retain people, at the same time engage them. So we have to have a strong engagement and learning culture, in learning culture na branding. So we will be able to attract the talent that we need to build our institutions into something great. Okay? So last week we talked about more than buzz, and it's all about the framework. Ito yung sinabi natin, no? I'm a very simple guy. I'm not very smart. Alam ni Berishan. Diba? So habang nagkaklase sila, ako'y nandun sa na student lounge nagbibilyar. Ako'y sinusundo ng professor. Kasi yung namin, yung school namin may bilyaran sa loob. Diba? May student lounge, may table tennis and everything. So I'm a simple guy, and I want to keep things simple so that it's easy for me to understand and easy for me to act on. And this is the framework we came up with. So for a business to become successful, zoom out muna tayo, you have to have 3 things. Financial vitality. Okay? Or in other words, is profitability. Hindi revenue, ha? Lad na naman ako, di ba? Hindi revenue ang magiging success meter natin. It's not how much we make. It's how much we keep when it comes to business. Di ba? Para personal life. Hindi gaano kalaki ang sweldo mo. Kundi gaano kalaki ang naiipon mo mula doon sa sweldo mo, that's what counts. Okay, ganoon din sa negosyo. It's not how much revenue. You have 10 million, and then when I ask you how much is your profit, you said, I'm negative. You didn't earn 10 million. You lost 10 million. Okay, so you have to be profitable. Now, for you to be profitable, you have to have strong customer relationship, customer engagement, right? Because the strength of the engagement of our customers will dictate the quality or the movement of the numbers. So the strength of the customer relationship determines the quality of the movement of the numbers. And to create a strong customer relationship, we have to have strong employee engagement. The engagement between the company, yung relationship inside the company, as well as the relationship of the leaders within the people inside the organization. So it's a flywheel, right? Ayan, so far so good. Ayan, sige. Okay, so we focus on the first 2 weeks, employee relationship. We're going to focus now on customer relationship. Okay, so I've been doing this for almost 20 years already. Okay, I've been to corporate, I've worked with multinationals, I've worked with startups, family business, micro, freelance, marami na tayong nakakatrabaho. When people reach out to me, they only want one thing. Okay, whether you're an employee, whether they're the business owner, whether the CEO of a big company, we all want one thing, and that is for our company to become successful. Tama ba? Yes, if you are agreeing with me, please type yes. Diba? Wala pang nag-reach out sa atin para sabihin, Fa, we need you kasi we want to have your advisory. We want to strategize in the next 5 years how to go bankrupt. Magsara yung company at mawalan ng trabaho ng mga tao. Wala pang ganon. It's always about how do we grow and scale our business. Whether they're employee or whether they're an owner, yun ang conversation natin. Now, whenever they ask me that question, I always share, nasabi ko, for a company to become successful, it must have something that starts with letter C. And the more C's a company has, the more successful it becomes. And I asked them, what do you think is that C? Sige, hula, ano kaya yung C na yon? Sige nga, chat nyo nga dyan para may engagement tayo. Ayan, di ba? SES. Kailangan nyo si SES. Ayan. Commitment, sabi ni Melinda. G-up, yan. So, si Mrs. Valverde, yan. So, cash conversation, calendar, yan. So, sabi ko, let's go back to basics. The more C's a company has, the more successful it becomes. It's what you call customer. The more customers, obviously, the more successful a company becomes. But it's not just customer. The longer I've been working with the companies, I realize not all customers are equal. Okay, because we have 3 different customers. We have dissatisfied customers. These are terrorists, and they will destroy your business. Okay, then we have satisfied customers. These customers are continually engaging with us until they find a better and cheaper alternative. But the third one is what you call loyal customers. This will bring wealth to our business. So the idea is we need to enlarge yung loyal customer base natin. Yes, you cannot build a great company or successful company out of one time cost, diba? One time transaction or even repeat. Kasi iwan nga tayo. What you need is loyal. Na ano ba itong mga loyal customers na to? Loyal customers will stick with us through thick and thin. Kahit mas mura kay competitor, kahit mas malapit sa atin pa rin bibili kasi loyal sa atin. Yan. So, as we proceed, pag-usapan natin ngayon na ito yung principle na gusto kong sabihin. A successful company is built on customer loyalty. In the past week, I've been preaching about customer obsession. It's about being obsessed. Observe our competitors. Yeah, observe our industry. But obsess over our customer. Right? Yan. So far, so good? Yes? Ayan. Sige, cash flow daw. Okay. So now, let me just share some facts. Pag-usapan natin ito. Ito yung mga stats na loyal customers spend 67% more than new ones. Imagine that. That's 67% more sa atin. That's money. Okay? It costs up to 7 times more to acquire new customer than to retain an old one. Diba? Ito yung Pareto principle. Instead of us focusing our energy getting more new clients, we need to spend 80% of our time retaining old ones because it costs us 7 times more. Well, customer acquisition is not the name of the game. If we have a revolving door, whether in terms of employment or customer, kung revolving door tayo, we can't build a great company. Papasok yung customer after 1 transaction, aalis na. It can't build a great company out of that. And it costs us more. So it's important that we retain. Retention is the name of the game, whether in employment, in talent, or in customers. Next, when you introduce a new product in the market, current customers are 50% more likely to try it out. And we have to keep innovating. Most of you are in the e-com industry, alam nyo to. Diba? May mga tayo, yung mga winning product natin, it has a shelf life. So we need to keep creating new ones. Now, if they have a relationship with the company, doesn't matter what the winning product is kasi it changes. So long as they have customer loyalty in our company, in the brand, not the brand product, but brand company, then they will keep on trying it. Yes? Ayan. So existing customers spend 31% more than new customers. Pag existing na, so loyal customers, obviously, more than 100%, di ba? Ang gap niya, or 50% more. Now, existing customers, ito yung mga current na natin, 31% more. Bottom line is, mas nagpa-profit tayo pag existing na compared to acquiring new customers. Ito ang favorite stat ko. Reducing your customer churn rate by just 5% can boost profitability by 95%. Imagine, if we just retain 5% of our customers, our profit will soar almost 100%. Diba? The effort to retain is much more easier compared to the effort to create, to acquire new ones. Cheaper pa. So dito uli papasok yung Pareto principle. Now, this is a counterintuitive. Ayan, kasi I've been talking with the people and sabi niya, sir, yung sinasabi mo, kabaliktaran ng lahat na naririnig ko eh. Yung mga naririnig ko sa mga training sa labas, go, grow. Get new people, more people. Diba? Get new customers. Ikaw parang, no, do less. Diba? Kasi tayo, ang principle natin, build less than obsess. Kasi ang mga tunay na negosyante, yung alam talaga yung ginagawa niya, we're very paranoid. And as a startup, it's very important kasi mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. But as startup, hindi tayo kagaya ng malalaking company that can afford mistakes. One crucial mistake, one hiring mistake in a startup can sink the boat. That's why our most valuable asset as a startup is really our customers. That's why we need to take care of them. Far more than having the right people, obviously, that's a prerequisite na yun. You have to have the right people so you can retain our current customers and turn them into loyal customers. Yes, so far so good. Please type yes if okay pa tayo. Parang ang energy natin. Ayan, si Dayan, empathic. Okay, sige. Ito, happy millennials share their positive experiences with 17 people. Why is this important? It's important for two things. Number one, because most of the customers right now natin are millennials. In 2014, the last millennial entered the workforce already. So, ibig sabihin, ang mga kinikater na natin are millennials. So, we need to provide them with great experience. Now, it's very important kasi back then, when I was starting to do this, almost 20 years ago, I told them, if you have a good experience, you tell 3 people. Tama, di ba? Kasi ganun eh. Pag maganda experience, sabi mo, sa 3 tao. If you have bad experience, you tell it to 7 people times 2. That was 20 years ago. Now, you tell people, di ba? You tell people, 7,000 people when you had a bad experience because of social media. Doon tayo nagra-rant. Ayan, tapos ako dahil may platform ako, dito ako nagra-rant. Mga CEO pa naman kayo, di ba? So we have 1,300 1,000 participants dito at sa Facebook. Mas madami sa Facebook. So yeah. Now, this is key because back then, you only tell 3 people. Now, because millennials are really, they're engaged, they want to engage with brands, they now tell 17 people. So we have an opportunity here. If we can provide a great experience to our client right now, they tell 17 people, and that's just fun. Imagine if you have like 10 clients who are satisfied. That's 170, give or take, na mapagsasabihan nila. Okay? Ito, last but not the least, 80% of the future profit will come from 1/5 of your loyal customers. So the 80-20 principle, babalik ulit tayo ron. And you know this to be true intuitively. Now I'm stating the science behind it. Alam naman natin to deep down eh. If you will assess, sino bang favorite customers ko? You will find a handful. Diba? Kahit marami yan, you'll find a handful. At mas masarap silang katrabaho. Diba? Parang, gusto ko ito katrabaho. So now, why not spend the 80% energy on those? We're not gonna ignore the others. Diba? We're not gonna ignore it. We're just gonna spend more energy and effort on those people who are really our loyal customers because they will bring in the money. You know, that's the Pareto principle. All right. So these are stats, but I want to, while I was preparing this, sabi ko, let's put a face in this one. Lagay natin ako. Diba? Gustong-gusto natin to eh. Gustong-gusto natin akong example eh. So meron akong habit, one of my confession to, no, it's a hobby of mine, a habit that I do. And I like to go to spa. Ayan, nagpapamassage tayo kasi pag may edad na medyo masakit ang likod eh. Ayan. So nung nasa labor pa ako, Thursdays, nagko-coding ako. I get out of the office at around 4 or 5. So kailangan kong I have to wait out the coding. Diba? So kasi 4 hours yun back then, 8 p.m. eh. So ang ginagawa ko, pupunta ako sa Nuwat Thai, ayan, sa mga, dun sa katabi naming mga spa, ayan, nagpapa-massage ako head and back. Ayan. Now, when we move here to the province, walang ganon. So, until tayo sa SM. So, sa SM, meron na siyang mga spa and so on. Now, recently, I've been visiting, siguro once a week. Ayan. Tapos, pagka nagsha-shopping si Tidoy, sabi ko, Mami, pa 30 minutes lang ako. So, I'll get a head massage or a back massage, yung ganon. But the past week, I came across a company, ito, Nails.Glow. Yan. So, sino ba to? Sino ba yun yung kay James Reid, yung babae? Si Nadine ang ambassador nito. And by accident lang yun kasi yung sa frequent ko, puno doon, and then I ended up going to this spa. And then I had a great experience. Bottom line, I had a great experience to the point na nag-tip ako ng 200 pesos tip for the Now, I usually give tips 100 pesos, diba, for the service. David Salon, ganyan. Give tips Diyos ko, mga CEO tayo rito Yung mga, let's be generous yan. We'll talk about psychological wallet later. But let's be generous, give tips sa mga waiters, mga kumakain kayo, diba? Yan. And I gave tip that's 100% more than what I usually do. And I find myself looking forward. Sabi ko, kailan kaya ako pwedeng bumisita uli doon? Diba? Kailan ba ako uli pupunta sa dahay para magpa-massage? Ayan. Or may mag-grocery ba maka 30 minutes ako. No, I find myself looking forward kasi I had a great experience. Talagang yung therapist doon, nung pagpasok ko, sapakan talaga. Binali yung likod ko, parang sabi ko, bago to And I had a great time. But the bottom line is this. Diba? The data, we had the numbers. Now let's put some faces. Ito yung mga nangyari, no? So after having a great experience, I spent more on tips, 100% more than what I do. What's next? I visit it more often. Usually, I visit the spa one time lang. But now I do it at least twice. Diba? And I look forward visiting this one. I get my nails done doon sa salon kasi they're a deal eh. Diba? This is the ecosystem play. Because it's already, my loyalty is on the brand, whatever it is they're offering, doon ko na rin gagawin. Right? I bring my wife. Doon kami naayos ng nails. Siya, di ba? Manicure, pedicure. And then, so, ganyan ang ginagawa pag you're providing customer loyalty. Di ba? They bring more people. And last but not the least, I'm doing word of mouth marketing, which is the most powerful marketing form, word of mouth. Because people trust their friends, not ads. Okay? So if you get people to talk about your brand, they talk about how good you are, mas malakas. And here I am sharing it to the people here and to the people watching sa Facebook. So this is an example of customer loyalty. We want this in our companies. Yes, you want more in your companies. People like me who will talk about your company, will brag about your company. Ayan. So, here's the principle I want you to take home. The best way of establishing customer loyalty is building a community. That's just one me. What if we build a community of loyal customers? And that's what we're going to spend the remaining time talking about. So, okay pa ba? Kaya ba? Yes, please type yes if you're still engaged. Para alam kung andyan pa kayo doon sa Facebook, paki-share. Tapos mag-join na kayo rito. Ayan. Alright. So let's define what community means. Community is a collection of people who share the same passion and values. Or in our parlance, people who share the same DNA. Yeah, and that's why DNA is very important, because when we have the strong DNA, we get the right people. And when we say right people, not just people, employees or associates, the right customers, we attract the right customers, we attract the right suppliers, we attract the right investors, the right partners, and we repel the wrong ones. So it's about a community, a group of people who share the same passion and values. Now, this is Sahil Lavinia. Hindi niyo siya masyadong naririnig sa akin, but you know this guy. Okay? Hindi siya kagaya ni Jim Collins, hindi siya kagaya ni Ram Charan, hindi siya kagaya ni Peter Drucker, because he just wrote one book. But this book is the foundation of this ecosystem. He wrote the book entitled The Minimalist Entrepreneur, which I strongly recommend. Ano naman ako, ma-high-blood naman ako. Magbasa tayo, di ba? At kung kailangan nyo ng kopya, I'm not beyond begging, I'm begging you, read books. Bibigyan ko kayo ng ebook copy nito. Ayan, so read this book. Ayan na. Yung mga lodi natin, sinasabi nga nila, di ba? Si BK Rivera, si RD, mga lodi natin yan. Guess what? Binasa nila to. Diba? So if you want to be like them, basahin nyo to. Ayan, okay. So sabi niya rito, communities are the starting point of any successful enterprise. What I knew intuitively, he validated. Nasa tamang landas nga tayo, sabi nga ni Dayan, di ba? Nasa tamang landas. And I thought community is a good add-on sa business. Now I changed my mind. It's the starting point of any successful enterprise. So you want to build a great company, start with a strong community. Ito yung closer niya. Most businesses fail because they aren't built with a particular type of people in mind. Oftentimes, the one that succeeded do so because they focused on a community that the founder knows well. Why is CEOInsight Asia growing? Because it's founded in the founder, one of the founders know the community well. We're all about builders, and I'm focusing on that. So when we do DNA, when I engage with client partners, the first thing that we do in creating a DNA is I ask this question: who are your customers? And by customers, I ask, who benefits the most with what you do, so much so that they're willing to pay for it? So ask yourself, who benefits the most with what your company does that they're willing to pay for it? Yun ang makikita mong loyal customers. Kasi pag may pera na, they are parting money, that's when you see who's really serious. Okay? And we did this recently. Alam nyo naman yan. When we decided na, okay, we're gonna make circles exclusive, doon natin nakita who's really serious and who's not. And that's fine, God bless them on your venture. Diba? But this is, here at CEOInsight Asia, we're all about building institutions for legacy beyond simply making money. And those who are here, our exclusive members, are dead serious in making that happen. And that's why they're benefiting the most in what we do. So, having said that, why does it matter? So, diba, we talk about starting communities as a starting point of a successful enterprise. Why does it matter? Let me give you 4 reasons. Number 1, community provides rapid feedback and candid feedback. Kasi pag may community tayo, mabilis ang feedback. First to know, first to act. The faster we learn from our customers, hindi market research, okay, diretso sa customer, the faster we can adjust. We have an inside joke sa mga Circle Multiplier group chat. Alam nila pagkatapos nito, may isa akong sinesend sa group chat. Inuunahan na nga nila ako si Chris Pasimuno. Sabi niya, kumusta? Kasi every after POS, I ask feedback from the people who attended it, particularly Circle Multipliers. How was it? Because I want to get better. And if you're enjoying this, it's better now, you say it's better, it's because of the feedback. So going back to your company, do you have a rapid mechanism? Rapid feedback mechanism rather. So we need to have that. The second is they provide feedback, they generate new ideas also for incubation. Kaya tayo may POS is because of we listen to our customers or the people inside the ecosystem. Kaya tayo may CEOInsight Asia review, which is led by Mel Medrano of Grammar, because we listened to our customers. Kaya tayo may executive education classes na nila launch because we listen to our customers. Kaya tayo may circles on a weekly basis because we realize you cannot build momentum on a one-time event. It has to be on a regular basis. So as CEOs, your job is to be in the face of your customers at least once every 7 days. They are reminded, di ba? Brand retention yon. they recall your brand and nare-retain sa kanila if we're on their face every 7 days through ads, through giving something, whatever the case may be. Okay? Reason number 3 is accelerates word of mouth marketing. I mentioned kanina sa behind the scenes, no, sabi ko, 100% of my client partners are either here in the ecosystem or I got it from the ecosystem. So it's very, because if you have a community, mabilis ang word of mouth. And last but not least, it serves as your customer now and in the future. So you have to build a community, a strong community. You have a strong community. You have a strong customer loyalty base. Loyal customer base. That's what we want. Okay. So question is, why communities don't happen? Bakit hindi nangyayari to? Okay. So far so good. Please type so good if you are still with me. Ayan. Salamat naman kay Dayan. Okay. Sige. So, why is it? So, alam na natin na communities are the starting point. It's not an add-on, it's a starting point. Why is it not happening? 3 things. First one is information. We don't know we should do it, why we need to do it, how to do it, and don't want to learn it. Okay, so I just pivot a bit about education, particularly. Kasi ito yung natin we prefer to be entertained than be educated. Yan ang sakit ng mga tao, particularly ng mga Pinoy. Diba? It's not that we don't have money. We have money. We just don't want to invest it. We see training, we see having advisors or circles as investment. We don't see it that way. We see it as expense. So it happens to the best of us. Recently this year, we visited Steve C. We had the opportunity to visit his office. Ayan, salamat kay Sir BK Rivera who connected with us. Nandun si Chris, no? And we interviewed him for, I believe, a couple of hours. And then, it happened to him. Sabi niya, na-break yung mindset ko na seeing people as expense, manpower as expense, consultants as expenses. When I started paying a manager for 100K, nagpapasweldo siya ng ganon. It broke his sabi niya na parang, if itong taong to, it's an investment and it will bring me money. Kung makukuha ko to, hindi ko man makita ngayon, pero makikita ko ipapasok na ito sa akin in the future. So my point is, it happens to the best of us. And when you interview him, he said, if I had in one session with Chinkitan, sabi niya, if I had to do it over again, itong advice ko, early on, I would have hired a mentor. Again, it sounds awkward because I'm one of them. So don't get me. Yeah, go get something else. But my point is, you have to have someone who's battle-tested, whispering in your ear how to do things. So sabi niya, ilalagay ko na yung kagad. Kahit startup pa lang ako, ilalagay ko na yon sa aking OPEX. Nasa line item ko na yon. Kasi it would really save me a lot of money in the long run. A lot of money, a lot of heartaches in the long run. And one of our clients ayan. So, may isang kliyente tayo nakakausap natin, nakakatawa eh. We're having inside joke. They were saying, grabe sir yung value mo, no? Ang daming naming natututunan from you and problems na nasosolve. So, kinakatsawan ko siya. Mahal nga ako eh, di ba? Sabi ko, monthly pa nga ako eh. And then they would say, hindi kasi mas mahal kapag kami lang. Mas magastos, mas sakit sa ulo. And that's a problem kasi with education eh. The problem with education is prevention. And we cannot appreciate what we don't experience. Diba? Before we experience this, we're preventing it already. So when we pay something, diba, hindi na natin pagdadaanan to, hindi natin ma-appreciate kung ano yun. Kasi hindi natin naranasan. Only when we experience it, it's sakit ng ulo sana pala, ganun na. Sana pala, hindi, ganun na lang ginawa ko nung una. But yan, nasa una talaga pagsisisi. Anyway, so my point is, let's not be that. It's not about whether you have money or not. We have money, alam natin yan. The problem is ito eh. People prioritize instant gratification over education. Diba? May pera ako, bilay ko bahay, bilay ko yung office, hire ako 10 tao. Instead of investing in fixed costs, they are costs, invest it in consultants, mentors, networks, trainings. Invest it in yourself. The best investment is yourself as CEO. Because if we get better, the organization gets better. Everyone gets better. Na-high blood na naman ako. Pasensya na, di ba? Kasi ito na nga ang mga circles, ito na ang principles of scaling. Ayan, di ba? Tapos, ayan. But syempre, pag nasa CEO Insights ka, hindi ganyan. Di ba? Pag nasa CEO Insights Asia ka, you prioritize education to the point nga na magpupunta pa kayo sa pansol. Di ba? Sana all. Di ba? After, hindi sila nakontento sa circle meeting. Nag-swimming pa ata to. Ayan, sila Ma'am Evidence. Ayan, sila Eman, Wayay. After ng circle meeting, nag-meet up, no? Sila Sandy. From Tarlac pa yan. Diba? So, ganyan dito sa ecosystem. You know, we learn together. So, this is very, we are a community of learners. And that's what we're emphasizing here. Yes? Moving on tayo. Second one, it's illusion. Okay, the reason why community is not happening is because of illusion. When I serve my community, when I focus on my community, ang daming hindi ko makukuha. Diba? I'll get less customers kasi konti lang sila. More is better. The illusion of more is better. That's not true. More is not always better. Better is better. If you have more clients, more staff, pero sakit naman lahat sa ulo, it's not better. So you want to have a handful who's loyal, whether associate or customers. Yes. So the illusion, it's just that. It's an illusion. Okay? And last but not the least, interaction. Kakapagod naman kasi mag-build ng community. Hindi ba pwedeng Facebook ads na lang ako? 'Di ba? Tapos bilhin na lang kayo. Ganun na lang. Huwag na tayo mag-invest in relationship. Well, it doesn't work that way. You know, but naman nung una, ganun. Oo, nung una. Ganun talaga. Pero if you want to build something in the long term, you have to transition from building a business into building a great company. Those are two different skill set. Yes? So, here's the key, no? It's easy to start any business. Ito yung pinag-uusapan namin regarding sa mostly e-com industry. It's the illusion of, grabe, get rich quickly. Illusion. Oy, grabe, dahil sa e-com, 7 months, 7 figures ako, nakabili ko ng ganito, nakabili ko ng ganyan. But if you really look at it in the long term, di ba, the candle that's twice as bright burns twice as fast. Are they built to last? How many in the e-com industry? I'm saying e-com, but it's everywhere. Mostly in the e-com kasi sa e-com, ito yung napansin ko. Ito lang naman ako ha. You may agree with me or not. But ito yung napansin ko na it's all about look at this. But you know, if you look at it really, they don't last long. Kasi it's not about just building an e-com industry or building a company, building a business, building a school, building a hospital. It's about building a great company. And like everything great, it takes time. It takes effort. And those are two different skill sets. So there. All right. So why do startup CEOs must do this? I'm talking to startups right now, whether startup business, a school, and so on. It's very important. Bakit? I was number one, it focused your resources. And I was last night, nasa self-made ako, Principles of Scaling with UG. Nunura, I got invited and they asked me, ano bang pagkakaiba ng startup sa multinational? Sabi ko, it's resources. Multinationals can make a mistake. We startups don't. We can't afford to do that. We cannot afford to make mistakes. So it's very important na we focus our resources into something that can give us biggest return on investment. Yes? So there. So that's one. We need to focus our resources. Second, it forges deep relationship. Because the strength of the relationship defines the strength of the engagement. The more engaged we are, the more we trust one another, the more we do business with one another. So it forges deep relationships. And third, it forms the foundation for ecosystem play. If we have a community, nando na yung customer natin. So kahit anong ibenta natin dyan, if malalim na yung relationship natin sa kanila, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna expand. So if we're gonna expand, we need customers. Ayan na yung ready customer. Oh. Kagaya na like what happened with me. No? I was at Nails Glow, I was doing spa. Now I'm doing my nails and whatever comes next. So it forges the foundations for ecosystem play. So the 3F, focus is resources. We can't afford to make mistakes. We're startup. Very precious ang resource natin. So we have to be strategic in lahat ng gagawin natin. Second, it forges deep relationship. And third, it forms the foundation for ecosystem play. Okay. So, let's get practical. I have how many minutes? Yan. Uy, may 10 minutes pa ako. Bilisan na natin to. Let's get practical. So, how do we build a community? First one is connect. Get connected. It requires relationship. So, connect with your customers. After connecting with your customers, you already have them. You have them in their database. May number sila sa atin, di ba? Kilala natin ang customer natin. Kilala natin kung sinong bili ng parcel natin. Kilala natin kung sino ang laging pumupunta sa shop natin. Kilala natin mga estudyante natin. So now, having said that, having that database, we need to connect with them. Add value. Don't sell our products or services. Add value. That's contribution. What do we contribute? Why do we need to contribute? Because contributing increases influence. Contributing creates engagement. And last but not the least, it catalyzes growth. That's why we're doing these principles of scaling. We want to contribute to the people around us. And unsurprisingly, the people who contribute the most here in the ecosystem are the most influential. RD. Si Direk Frank. Not surprising, di ba? Si Chris, si AJ, si BK. Because they're the ones who's contributing the most. It creates engagement with the customers and it catalyzes growth. The more people see that this community is alive and pulsating, the more people would want to join that community. Okay, so what do you need to contribute? Ito lang, yan. Ito pala, here's the principle. Contribution generates social capital. Okay, ito yung pinag-uusapan namin ni RD. Social capital, and just like in any economy, where money can buy goods, social capital is a key currency in communities. It provides influence. Okay, so social capital is influence, and when you have influence in a community, that's as good as money. So it's very important that we contribute. So what do we need to how do we contribute? Work in public, whatever it is you're doing. Work in public. That's why you can see me posting about my business lesson. Yeah. What else? Teach everything you know. That's why we have principles of scaling. And si BK nagko-contribute, nagsa-share siya, and then create every day because it sharpens us. When we write, when we give, it sharpens our skill set. We get to practice it. So that's the last one, create. Figure out what the community needs and create it. Once you're part of a community, you start making a list of difficulties its member face. And then now you can think about how you could build a product or service that could solve one or more of them. The things you can stand will help you understand what you need to change. Kaya yung mga frustrations natin, okay yan. Kasi they're pointing us to a direction. If frustrated tayo dito, then maybe someone else is also frustrated with this one. And maybe if I can solve this, they'll pay me to solve it for them also. Sabi nga ni Joker, when you're good at something, never do it for free. Yan. Okay. So far, so good? Yes? Yes? Please type yes if you're still with me. Ayan. Session. Sapakan. So, here's the flywheel. You connect with your customers. Once you connect, contribute. How can I add value? Okay? The money will follow. Add value, the money will follow. Okay? So, I'm a living testament of that. And I'm sure you are too. Kayo rin. Diba? Alam niyo yan eh. Diba? So, the more we contribute, the more people trust us, the more transactions happen because of trust. Contribute, the more you contribute, you will see their problems, which give us opportunity to create, which then connects us to the community. It's a flywheel. It strengthens the community. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. Okay? It takes time to build community. But this is what we're doing here. We're building something to last. Legacy play tayo. So, in closing, we're talking about world-class practices here. Okay? And we here in CEOInsight Asia, we want to change the world. As stupid as it sounds, as insane as it sounds, that's what we want. We want to build something that changes lives. Diba? Beyond simply making money. And the way to change that, you want to change the world, you want to change countries, you have to change cities. For us to change cities, you have to change communities. How do you change communities? By changing companies. Remember, the best charity is a business because it impacts lives of its immediate community. It gives livelihood to families. So you create a great company, it affects a lot of lives. How do you create a great company? By having a great leader at its helm. And that's where CEO Insight comes in. We help one another become great CEOs through our CEO circles. Now, changing the world seems possible. All we need to do is change ourselves to becoming better. We become better, we lead better, our companies become better. Our companies become better, we impact the community. And if enough companies are changing for the better, we'll change communities, cities, and the world. So there, right? So here's my closing statement. So we're writing a book. Ayan, I haven't given much credit kay Direk Frank, but he's the guy behind it all. Ayan, alam ko I caught him. Siya ang gumagawa ng layout, siya ang nagdi-direct nito, but he's very quiet. You know, he doesn't get a lot of rap. So I asked him, sabi ko, I'm writing Simplify, and the purpose of this is we want to get lessons that we wish someone advised us when we were starting. And he is one of the contributing author kasama ni the Chris ng MN Starnet at saka ni AJ Araneta ng Penang. And this is what I asked them. What 3 personal lessons you learned from experience that you wish someone advised you when you were starting? That your first venture, that can you now advise new business founders and first-time entrepreneurs? I asked them and they wrote it down. And pag na-publish na to, yan, bili na lang kayo. All proceeds will go to CEOInsight Asia. And the reason why I asked them this is because this is what I asked myself. Sabi ko, if I'm starting now, knowing what I know now, I'm going to start again, what would I have done differently in building my firm? And the answer is, I would have started with community. Dapat pala, 2017 pa lang nag-start na ako ng CEOInsight Asia. Kasi grabe ang naging impact nito for me as a builder, naging impact nito sa mga nasa loob ng ecosystem. Why didn't we start it sooner? So that's the lesson I want everyone else here to take home. Go home and build your community, because community is the foundation of customer loyalty, and customer loyalty is key in building successful company. It turbocharges your growth as an enterprise. So with that, thank you so much for having me. Yes, please type yes. Ayan. Teacher is not okay. So with that, thank you so much. I will now be asking si Ruel, ibang turo mo. Pwede ka mag-unmute, sir. I just want to hear your key insight, sir. Ayan. What's your key insight as we close?
Ayun. Hello, good morning. And there's so much value. Sobrang ang daming learnings. Pero I think nag-i-stick sa akin ngayon. It's all about building, we're talking about, kanina pa natin binabanggit, community acquisition or building a community, and then retain the community. Kasi parang for the longest time, the business model that I have been doing is acquire, sales. So nakapokus sa sales. So parang benta. Pero little that we know that there's another side of the business, which is the retention. The acquisition, yes, we have to work on it, but also the retention, we have to work on it. And I'm also reading the book that Minimalist Entrepreneur, to the point that I guess that's chapter 2 or chapter 3. Yung community, talagang binalik-balikan ko siya kasi tumitipid or nagiging matipid ang operation cost kapag meron kang community.
Trot! So, yeah.
Hindi mo kailangan gumasa sa pag-acquire. All you have to have is invest in time in building community. Invest in money in acquiring community. Yes. So, ayun. So, that's the main key takeaway for now. Pero sobrang daming value na takeaway talaga. So, ayun.
Thank you so much, Roel. No, before I close, I just want to add, in the world of social media, the world is screaming, get rich quick, scale fast, grow more. That's why it's a shock and system of people who join us here na nagsasabing, no, grow less, build less, then obsess. Kaya nasa-shock sila eh. Kasi, social media is bombarding us to that. But here, if you want to build something that will last, it's all about retention. So yeah, we're in a get rich slowly blueprint. Tested and proven na to. Yeah, we're just gonna follow it, and we have to be patient. So if it requires us to stop listening to social media, may susulpot. Ay, hindi kita. Sige, ayun. Ayan. Okay, so with that, I'll close muna. Okay. So thank you.
Something in the window.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. As we close, hinahanap na ako ng anak ko. Thank you. See you next week. Blessings to everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Sure.